Hey there. So I know you want to boost your sales and close more deals.
Well,
And it looks like you're really looking to predictive lead scoring to take things to the next level.
that's right.
And you send over so much great information about this. So
Yeah.
I think we've got a really deep dive ahead of us. Are you ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's go. I think you're definitely thinking along the right lines here.
Awesome. Okay, so traditional lead scoring,
Yeah,
it can only take us so far. I mean, how do we even know if we are focusing on the right people who visit our websites?
right.
You know, are we missing key pieces of the puzzle?
It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. You might have some basic info, maybe download history,
Right.
but you're missing the full story. Like, who are these people? What are they actually interested in?
Exactly. And it's so frustrating, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Wasting time on all these leads, and then they just turn out to be completely wrong for your product.
Oh, yeah. Like, way too many times. It's like you can't judge a book by its cover, right?
Right.
Traditional lead scoring just gives you the cover, but you need to be able to see what's inside
Yeah.
to really understand the potential of a lead.
I think that's where a tool like TrafficID comes in. I
Uh-huh.
was just skimming through all this material you sent. This thing sounds incredible. It sounds like,
Yeah.
I don't know, a secret weapon for your website?
It's pretty close. Okay, so imagine this. You can see exactly who is visiting your website,
Okay.
their company, their job title,
Wow.
even their social media profiles. Like, imagine how powerful that would be for your sales team.
Hold on. So seriously, so no more guessing games. We don't have to rely on like incomplete data.
That's right.
You can actually know who's a hot lead and who's not.
Exactly.
Okay, how?
So TrafficID uses some pretty cool techniques to make this happen.
Huh?
So it starts by grabbing the visitor's IP address
Okay.
and then does a reverse lookup to see what company they work for.
Okay, that makes sense.
Ooh.
So how do we go beyond just like the basic company info? How do
Yeah.
we get all those other juicy details like job title?
Right. Social media.
That's the data enrichment part.
Hmm.
So TrafficID digs deep into a ton of databases and public information to build a rich profile for each visitor.
Oh, wow.
So it's like having a private investigator working behind the scenes for you.
That's incredible. Okay, so instead of just knowing that someone downloaded, like, let's say a white paper, we can actually see if they're a decision maker at a huge company in our target industry.
Exactly.
Wow.
But it doesn't stop there. TrafficID also uses cookies
Okay.
to see what each visitor is doing on your website, like every page they visit, every download, every click.
Okay, so we're not just seeing who they are, we're understanding their behavior, what they're interested in, their intent.
Exactly.
So that's way more powerful than just knowing, like, someone fills the form.
Yes,
Uh.
absolutely. And that's where the real magic of predictive lead scoring comes in.
Yeah.
You can score leads based on factors that actually matter to your business
Okay.
instead of like arbitrary points for random actions. Okay, I'm starting to get how this could totally change a sales process. We're not just guessing anymore. We're working with real data, real insights.
Exactly.
Okay, but with all this information, how do we even start to like figure it all out?
Right, and that's where TrafficID really shines, helping you focus on the signals that really matter. You can actually customize your scoring criteria
Okay.
to prioritize what lines up with your ideal customer.
So it's not like one size fits all. You can kind of tailor it to what's important for your specific business.
Exactly. For example, you could prioritize leads from certain industries,
Okay.
companies of a certain size, or even specific job titles. And you can even get more specific and focus on specific behaviors.
Oh, okay. Like what kind of behaviors? What would be a sign that someone's really thinking about buying our product?
So think about actions that someone would take if they were seriously considering buying from you.
Okay.
Maybe they visit your pricing page a bunch of times,
Hmm.
download case studies that compare different features, or even spend a good amount of time on, like, your testimonial page.
Those are some pretty clear signs. It's like we're reading their minds.
Exact.
Okay, this is awesome.
Yeah, and here's the best part. You can set up real-time notifications in TrafficID.
Okay.
So the moment a high-value visitor takes one of those actions, you'll get an alert.
Yeah.
Imagine your sales team getting pinged the second a hot lead shows real interest.
Okay, so no more waiting around for leads to go cold. We can actually strike while the iron's hot.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Okay, but all this data, where does it actually go?
Right?
So does our sales team have to manually put everything into their CRM?
That's another thing that makes TrafficID so great. It actually integrates directly with a lot of popular CRM systems.
Oh, okay.
Like Go high level, Slack, Zapier, even webhooks.
Yeah.
So all that valuable lead data goes directly into your CRM, no manual entry required.
Okay, so that saves so much time. And everything's in one place, ready to use. So walk me through this. How do we actually set up TrafficID lead scoring? It sounds kind of complicated.
It's actually much easier than you think. It's a simple 5-step process.
Okay.
So first, you define your scoring criteria.
Okay.
Think about what makes a lead valuable to you.
Okay.
Like what actually indicates a high chance of them becoming a customer.
Okay, so really nail down like our ideal customer profile.
Exactly.
Okay.
So like what kind of company, what industry are they in, what's their job title?
Perfect. Okay, what's next?
Then you set up TrafficID on your website. It's basically adding a tracking script
Okay.
and setting up those real-time notifications we talked about.
Okay, that doesn't sound too bad. And then?
Step 3 is all about that CRM integration.
Okay.
So you choose the system that works for you, and TrafficID takes care of the rest.
Okay, so all that data is flowing right into our CRM.
Right.
And then?
Step 4 is where the magic happens.
Okay.
It's all about constantly analyzing and improving.
Lead scoring isn't just a set it and forget it thing,
Yeah.
right? You need to regularly check the data.
Right.
See what's working, what's not, and adjust your scoring model if you need to.
Got it. So we're always learning, evolving, and improving our system based on the data. What's the last step?
So the final step is to train your team. You've got this incredible system in place.
Yeah.
But you need to make sure everyone understands how to use it well.
That makes sense. So they need to know how to understand the data, how to prioritize leads, how to use those real-time alerts to their advantage.
Exactly. When everyone's on the same page, that's when you really start to see how powerful TrafficID can be.
Yeah.
It's all about helping your team make better decisions,
Yeah.
work smarter, and ultimately close more deals.
Okay, this is seriously impressive. We've covered so much already, but I just want to make sure our listeners really get the benefits here. So what's the bottom line? How does all of this translate to actual results?
The bottom line is that TrafficID takes out the guesswork from lead scoring.
You're not relying on gut feelings or outdated methods. You're actually working with solid data and insights to help you prioritize your work.
Right.
And focus on the leads that will most likely convert into customers.
Okay, I got that. But what does that actually look like? What kind of results are we talking about here?
Well, one of the biggest benefits is improved sales efficiency.
Okay.
So your sales team isn't wasting time on dead-end leads.
Okay.
They're completely focused on the high-value people who are more likely to become customers.
Okay, so that means shorter sales cycles, more closed deals, and ultimately a healthier bottom line. That sounds amazing to me.
Right.
But it's not just about the numbers.
Right, exactly. This data-driven approach also brings sales and marketing teams closer together. They're working together, speaking the same language, and collaborating better to achieve those common goals.
I love that. No more silos. Everyone's
Yeah.
on the same page, working together.
Yeah.
That's where the real magic happens.
Absolutely. It's about creating a unified, data-driven culture where everyone can succeed. And that ultimately leads to happier customers, more revenue, and a more successful business overall.
I love it. This has been so insightful. I can already see how TrafficID can make a huge difference for businesses of all sizes. It's like the secret to success in sales. But I know there's so much more to uncover. We'll be back to dive even deeper into the power of TrafficID. Stay with us.
All right, so welcome back. Before we jump into the next part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I want to share a real-world story of how TrafficID can be used to help you close those really big deals.
Okay, yeah. I'm always down to hear how this stuff actually plays out in a real business, you know?
Okay, so imagine this. You're trying to close a big deal with like a high-value account,
Right.
but it's been moving super slow. You're not even sure if they are really interested or if they're just kind of leading you on, you know?
Yeah. It's the worst, right. Not knowing what the decision makers are really thinking.
Okay, but what if you could actually see what they're doing on your website? So with TrafficID, you can.
Okay.
So let's say you see the CEO and like some other key people from this big account, and they've been looking at your pricing page,
Okay.
downloading case studies, and hanging out on your client testimonial page over and over.
Okay, those are some pretty strong signs that they're really interested and seriously thinking about it.
Exactly. And with TrafficID, all of those actions would trigger an alert to your sales team.
Okay.
So now, with that info, Your sales rep could reach out right away with like a super personalized message, addressing their concerns and highlighting what they've shown interest in.
That's genius. So you're not just randomly following up, you're like using that insight to your advantage.
Exactly. It's about being proactive, understanding what they need, and leveraging those real-time insights to close the deal.
Okay, this is making me think. We've been talking about new leads this whole time,
Yeah.
but could TrafficID help with our existing customers too?
Yeah, for sure. It can be a game changer for keeping customers and even upselling them. So let's say you have a customer who's been with you for a while,
Okay.
but they haven't been interacting as much lately. Maybe they're not logging into their account or opening
Right,
emails.
it's like they're slipping away.
Yeah, but with TrafficID, you could see if they've been looking at certain pages on your site,
Hmm.
maybe checking out the new features or products you've released.
Okay.
And that could be your chance to reach out, get them engaged again, and offer something tailored to their new needs.
So we can spot those risks before they even become a problem and then proactively reach out with a solution.
Yeah. You can also use TrafficID to find opportunities to upsell or cross-sell to your current customers. Like if you see someone spending a lot of time on a page about a higher tier plan, your sales team could reach out with a special offer just for them.
Okay, yeah. It's all about knowing how your customers are behaving and using that info to build those stronger relationships.
Exactly. Now, here's something to think about. Why are companies even doing lead scoring in the first place? What's the big deal?
You know, that's a good question. I think a lot of people do it because they hear it's important,
Right.
but don't really get why.
Yeah. In today's crazy competitive business world, every interaction, every lead is really valuable. You don't want to waste time on leads that won't go anywhere or miss those golden opportunities.
Right. Time is money. Efficiency is key.
Exactly. That's exactly what lead scoring lets you do, especially when you're using a tool like TrafficID. It helps you zero in on those leads with the most potential
Okay.
and get the biggest bang for your buck.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart and using data to make those better decisions.
Exactly. Streamlining that sales process, making your team more efficient, and driving growth for your revenue.
Yep.
But let's face it, there are a ton of different tools and ways to do this.
Yeah.
What makes TrafficID stand out from all the others?
Well, for me, one of the things that really impressed me was how customizable it is
Yeah.
and how it gives those real-time insights. It's not a generic one-size-fits-all solution, you know. You can really tailor it to your specific needs and goals.
Yeah.
And those real-time alerts are a total game changer for sales teams.
Absolutely. And let's not forget that smooth integration with CRM. Having all that data automatically synced to your CRM system saves so much time and allows your team to focus on what they're really good at,
Okay.
building relationships and closing deals.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the how of TrafficID, the features, and the benefits. But I think it's important to step back for a second and talk about the why.
Okay.
Why should businesses even care about this? What's the big picture?
Great question. In today's digital world, we have more data than ever before, right? But it's not just about having the data. It's about understanding it, using it the right way, and turning it into action.
Right. It's not about just being data-driven for the sake of it. It's about using data to make smarter choices, improve how we do things, and get better results.
Exactly. And that's what TrafficID helps you do. To close that gap between data and action, moving from guessing to making informed choices and reaching a whole new level of sales success.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, but before we move on to the last part of our deep dive, I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
Right.
Let's do a quick recap of what we've learned about TrafficID so far.
Sounds good.
So we started by looking at how traditional lead scoring falls short, talking about the struggles of incomplete data, manual entry, and the lack of those real-time insights. Then we explored the amazing world of TrafficID and how it uses things like IP reverse lookup, data enrichment, cookie tracking, and those third-party integrations to uncover who your website visitors are and what their intentions might be. We talked about scoring leads based on things that really matter, like company size, what industry they're in, job titles, and most importantly, their behavior. We looked at how TrafficID keeps track of those important actions on your website, giving you a real-time understanding of what your visitors are thinking so you can personalize your approach and reach out at the perfect moment. We highlighted how TrafficID lets you customize your scoring based on your specific business goals, making sure you have a plan that matches your ideal customer profile. And we discussed those real-time notifications that let your sales team know the second a valuable lead makes a key move.
Yes.
And of course, we can't forget about that super smooth CRM integration. All that super valuable data about your leads goes straight to your CRM system, so there's no need for manual entry, and your team has instant access to those actionable insights. We even went over the 5 simple steps to set up TrafficID lead scoring, making it clear that this is a system anyone can use, regardless of their tech skills. This has been an awesome journey so far. But hold on, we're not done yet. There's still more to discover. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll be checking out a real-world case study of a company that used TrafficID-led scoring and saw amazing results.
Stay tuned to hear how this company totally transformed their sales process and unlocked a whole new level of growth and success.
All right, so we're back, and we're going to jump into a real success story. I'm so curious to see how TrafficID works in actual business, you know?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the idea, the potential,
Right.
but nothing beats seeing it in action.
So, paint the picture for us.
Yeah.
What kind of company are we talking about here?
Okay.
What were their problems before they tried TrafficID?
All right, so picture this. A B2B SaaS company, let's call them Brandwell. They were doing okay, like getting decent traffic to their website,
Oh, wait.
but having trouble turning those visitors into paying customers.
Oh, yeah, totally. I feel like that's a pretty common struggle for a lot of companies. You know, you can have all the traffic in the world,
Right.
but if you're not converting those visitors, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Exactly. And they were using those old lead scoring methods that we talked about before,
Right.
like forms, downloads, basic demographics, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't giving them what they really needed to focus on those high-value leads.
So they were basically drowning in data, but still thirsty for insights.
Right. That's a great way to put it. They had the data, but couldn't really make sense of it.
Yeah.
They couldn't connect the dots between what people were doing on the website and whether they were actually going to buy something.
So that's where TrafficID comes in.
Exactly.
They decided to give it a shot, hoping to finally understand who was coming to their site
Right.
and what they were doing that showed real buying intent. So what happened?
Well, right off the bat, they were amazed by how much detail they suddenly could see. TrafficID showed them the actual companies behind all those anonymous visitors, what industries they were in, job titles, even their social media profiles.
It's like they suddenly had superpowers. They could see exactly who was really interested and who was just browsing around. What did they do with all that new info?
Well, they used it to create a lead scoring system
Okay.
that matched perfectly with their ideal customer. They made it a priority to look at visits to important pages, downloads of certain materials, even how people were engaging with specific blog posts.
So they were looking at the whole picture, the entire customer journey on their website.
Exactly.
They could identify those actions that really matter, the high intent ones.
That's right. And they didn't stop there. They integrated TrafficID with their CRM.
Okay.
So all that great lead data was automatically going into their system.
Okay, so the system is in place, the data's flowing. How did Brandwell actually use all these insights to change how they did sales?
Well, they started by focusing on those leads with the highest scores, the ones who were showing that they were ready to buy.
Okay.
And they used the insights from TrafficID to personalize how they reached out to those leads, tailoring their message to fit each person's specific needs and interests.
So instead of just sending out those generic sales pitches, they were actually having real conversations,
Right.
addressing each prospect's issues and offering solutions that made sense to them.
Exactly. And they also use those real-time alerts that we talked about. So whenever a high-value lead did something important, like looking at the pricing page again or downloading a case study, their sales team got an alert right away.
Okay.
They could reach out while the lead was still hot.
So it's like they had a secret advantage, a leg up on their competition. Did they see results from all this?
The results were unbelievable. Brandwell saw a massive increase in their conversion rates, their sales cycles got shorter,
Wow.
and their profits went way up.
Okay, stop teasing. Give me the numbers. What kind of increase are we talking about here?
They saw their lead generation ROI increase by 77%. Their sales team was closing way more deals and doing it faster.
Wow, that's a complete turnaround.
And it wasn't just the numbers. Their team morale got better, too.
Oh, good.
Their sales reps were pumped to have the tools and insights they needed to be successful.
Yeah.
And the marketing team was stoked to see their hard work paying off with real results.
That's the best. Everyone's happier, more productive, and the business is doing great.
It really is a win-win. It shows just how powerful this data-driven approach can be
Yeah.
and the amazing impact that TrafficID can have on a business.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the main takeaway for our listeners? What can they learn from what Brandwell did?
I think the biggest lesson here is that really understanding your website visitors isn't a nice to have anymore. It's a must have.
Mhm.
In this competitive world, you can't afford to be clueless about who's on your website and what they're looking for.
TrafficID gives you that clarity. It lets you make better decisions, connect with your prospects in a more meaningful way, and ultimately see those results you're looking for.
It's all about moving past guesswork and embracing a sales and marketing strategy that's driven by data.
Well, I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about predictive lead scoring and the amazing power of TrafficID. This has been an incredible journey, and I hope you're leaving feeling as inspired and informed as I am.
It's been great sharing these insights with you and your listeners.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into predictive lead scoring.
Until next
Okay.
time.